Hello boys, welcome back to another session of video tutorials, and this session is meant for class 11th biology students, and this is for 19th February 2021. As we all know that we are into the revision mode and we are revising the entire syllabus in the form of CBSE sample papers. Already we have discussed, reflected upon two papers, and in this session we are going to discuss one more paper, that is sample paper 3. And in sample paper 3 yesterday we discussed section A with answers, and in this session we are going to go for section B. And as all of you know, section B has got 9 questions and each question carries 2 marks. So totally there will be 18 marks weightage for section B. So with that in our mind, we go straight to the question. 17th question. What will be the value of RQ, that is respiratory quotient, when organic acids are used as respiratory substrate? So the answer, organic acids contain more oxygen than carbohydrates. Therefore, RQ is more than 1. Less amount of oxygen is required for their oxidation. 2COOH plus O2 giving rise to 4 molecules of carbon dioxide and 2 molecules of water and energy. So the RQ is 4 molecules of CO2 divided by 1 molecule of oxygen, that is 4. So it has to be more. That's why we say RQ is more than 1. Question 18. Many discoveries in science have been accidental. This is true for plant hormones also. Can you justify this statement by giving an example? Also, what is the term used for such accidental findings? Answer. This is true that all the 5 plant hormones have been discovered accidentally. For example, auxin was accidentally discovered by Charles Darwin and his son Francis Darwin. They observed that coleoptiles of canary grass responded to unilateral illumination by growing towards the source of light. Auxin was later isolated from coleoptiles of oat seedlings by F.W. Wendt. The term used for such accidental discoveries is serendipity. Next, question number 19. Compare the central neural system, that is central nervous system, CNS, with PNS, peripheral nervous system. Of course, since it is 2 marks questions, so you must be able to write small answers, not big stories. Central nervous system includes brain and spinal cord and is the site of information processing and control. Whereas the PNS, peripheral nervous system, comprises of all the nerves of the body associated with the CNS, brain and spinal cord. And it is always advisable to make a tabular column. Whenever there is a difference question, it is better always put a table. Question number 20. Write any 2 energy yielding reactions of glycolysis. 2 energy yielding reactions of glycolysis. Glycolysis, lysis is breaking, glucose is broken. Conversion of biphosphoglyceric acid BPGA to phosphoglyceric acid, where energy is trapped by the formation of ATP. That is one step. Second step, conversion of PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate, to pyruvic acid. Phosphoenol pyruvate to pyruvic acid, again there is energy yield. Or you got a choice for this. When will be the value of RQ be less than 1? Of course, again we discussed this question in the very beginning, question number 17. Again, it is almost repetition. The value of respiratory quotient RQ will be less than 1 if the fats are used in the respiration. That is, 2 molecules of C51H98O6 plus 145 molecules of oxygen yield 102 molecules of carbon dioxide, 98 molecules of water, and of course energy. And this 2 molecules is tripalpentine. And when we take up the RQ, what is the formula? Number of molecules of CO2 divided by number of molecules of oxygen. 102 CO2 divided by 145 O2, that should come to 0.7. It is less than 1. That means it is less than 1 when fats are used in respiration. That should be your conclusion for question number 20th. 21. Mention any 2 reasons which prove that photosynthesis is essential for sustaining life on earth. 2 reasons are as follows. 1. It is the process by which food is manufactured for all living organisms. 21. 2. It is the only natural process by which oxygen is liberated into atmosphere. The oxygen is used by all living organisms respiring aerobically, that is in the presence of oxygen. Next, question number 22. Does moonlight support photosynthesis? Find out. The intensity of moonlight is several thousand times less than that of direct sunlight, insufficient for the light-dependent phase of photosynthesis, that is light reaction or Hillman reaction. So photosynthesis does not occur in the moonlight because PS1, PS2, 740 to 780 nanometers should be there. Or choice. A type of anatomy of leaves possessed by C4 plants is different from those of C3 plants. Explain. Now we are talking about the anatomy. C4 plants possess a special anatomy of leaves called cranch anatomy, C4 cranch, which means the presence of 2 types of chloroplasts, A granule in bundle sheath cells and granule in mesophyll cells. That's why it is called cranch anatomy. It is called by a scientist called cranch. Question number 23. Describe in brief structure of androecium. Of course, androecium means male reproductive organ. Androecium is composed of stamens. Each stamen, which represents the male reproductive organ, consists of a stalk or filament and an anther. Each anther is usually bilobed, and each lobe has 2 chambers, that is pollen sacs. The pollen grains are produced in the pollen sacs, and there will be meiosis in the antheridial cells, and the 2n number will be reduced to n number. Diploid numbers become haploid. By the time pollen grains are formed, it will be haploid in nature. Write question number 24. Write short notes on the functions of the following hormones: insulin and glucagon. Insulin, of course, is already famous, helps in control of blood glucose levels by signaling the liver and muscle and fat cells to take in glucose from the blood. Insulin therefore helps cells to take in glucose to be used for energy. If the body has sufficient energy, insulin signals the liver to take up glucose and store it as glycogen. The pancreas releases glucagon when the concentration of glucose in the bloodstream, that is in the blood, falls too low. Glucagon causes the liver to convert stored glycogen into glucose, which is released into bloodstream. High blood glucose levels, on the other hand, stimulate the release of insulin. Next, question number 25th. Why mammals are considered more intelligent as compared to other animals? Of course, we know that in mammals, brain is well developed with a large sized cerebrum, 4 optic lobes and a nervous band called corpus callosum. Gray matter is more developed, which makes them more intelligent among other animals. So it is basically well developed brain that is responsible for it. And in section C, we go for this. This has got 5 questions. Each question carries 3 marks. So 5 3 ja 15 marks. I think we'll discuss about this 15 marks in our next session. Until then, keep on practicing.